As you can see, Flicky is a side-scrolling action game from Sega, which hit the Japanese arcades in May 1984. The purpose of the game is to control Flicky, the blue bird, and rescue the chicks known as Pio Pio, who have escaped from the nasty cats known as Nyan Nyan. Actually, Pio Pio is the Japanese word for the sound chicks make, while Nyan is basically what we call meow in English. Like many action games of its time, the game plays with loop-type scrolling. To add more tension to the action, accelerated gravity plays a big part in the game, making Flicky more interesting to control thanks to the left and right movement inertia. It also makes collecting all the chicks and taking them to the goal door a lot trickier. But this is all part of the fun. It makes you think more about where you want to go. Otherwise, you could end up running straight into a cat. Besides the cats, there are other disturbing characters. A lizard known as Koro Koro never jumps, but he does move around on the floor, so you better watch out. You can defeat enemies by throwing potted plants and other stuff at them. This is done by holding the attack item and pressing the jump button with the direction pointing in the direction you want to throw the item. Unfortunately, it is not possible just to jump without attacking while holding an attack item. Flicky may not be for everyone, and it is a basic looking game, but for the time it was fast, colourful and mighty addictive. The very first port of Flicky came out the same year as the arcade in 1984 for the Sega SG-1000. Of course, this is a much more simplified version of the game, missing the intro sequence, area backgrounds and even the AI of the arcade game, but it is still Flicky. Controls are good, but some of the area designs make jumping from one platform to another rather tricky, due to the precise nature of the jumps required. Still, for the first and very early port, Flicky on the SG-1000 isn't that bad. In fact, it is rather good, since it's one of the few side-scrolling games on the platform that is smooth. The next version to be released was for the NEC PC 8801. Now at first I thought there was something wrong with this game due to it being in monochrome, but no. After checking other games on the system, they work just fine. I guess this is how it looks. Either that or my copy of it is really screwed up. Anyway, this port plays really well. It's very similar to the SG-1000 port, which makes me wonder if Micronet were also behind that version. Micronet did end up becoming part of Sega in the end, so it wouldn't surprise me. Sharp X1 was the next, and it's nice to see this one in colour. Sadly, the controls seem to be totally messed up. Either that or it's an emulation issue, but I don't think so since other games are fine. Basically, the controls are really laggy, making it impossible to do any split-second movements. I couldn't even finish stage 2, as Flicky seemed to have a mind of his own most of the time. At least, this looks nice. This is Flicky on the MSX and I hate it. Again, Micronet are behind this port, and yes, it's a direct Sega SG-1000 port, but really annoying. The sprite flicker makes the cats vanish at times, resulting in unknown deaths. The AI of the cats is really f***ing annoying too. They stick to you like flies on As you can tell, I don't like this port at all. Coming out in 1991 is the version most people are acquainted to. This is the Sega Mega Drive port. As you can tell, it looks close to the arcade game, but not the same. Audio is also arranged, making for a somewhat mixed experience. The tweeting of the chicks is especially annoying in my opinion. The Mega CD version by CRI can be found on the game Kansume Volume 1. This version is basically the Mega Drive game in terms of graphics, but the audio has been given a boost. Chip tunes are now arranged and played back via PSG, which does sound better. The sound effects have also been improved, and of course there is the CD audio for the main background music. What's also new is that a high score table has been added. This is the Sega Saturn version that can be found on the Sega Memorial Collection Volume 1. This is essentially an arcade perfect port running on the Saturn. It does seem to be limited in that you can only enter 1 credit though, unlike the arcade original. And let's take a look at all those versions of Flicky running side by side.